Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing well and I'm audible to you all. So let's get started. So before actually getting started, let's have some quick recap. Let me share my screen and we will start. Okay, I'll share my screen from where I stopped it last time. So let's get started. If you have attended our previous session, that was series one, like first session of the series, where we learned about how we can have that basic setup. What are the important things that we need to have in our system? Like first, we started with what is Agentforce Vibes and why it is important, how it is important, in fact, and we have seen like what's different is the agent force vibe than previously known as dev agent. And then started with some sort of introduction. Then we understood the prerequisite. What are the prerequisite to quickly visit? You should be having your asset, laptop or desktop. And second prerequisite was you should be knowing or having a basic knowledge of Salesforce. It can be like it has to be like admin knowledge. It's agent force vibes is not something that someone can come and directly start doing it. So your basic Salesforce knowledge, admin level is mandatory. So that is kind of one of the prerequisite we have for this second session. And for the second session, another prerequisite is it is really good if you have attended the series one, but still I'm giving you that kind of what we have discussed in series like lecture session one, previous session. Now the next thing was we started with our environment setup. So as we know, there are two ways by which we can have or learn, use this agent force vibes with the Salesforce. One is in your local system, and another one is on Code Builder directly on the Salesforce. So we have decided to go with VS Code setup. It is more local, and you'll be having more control over the things that you have, file systems and all. You can do so many things from locally, and also from code builder additional things and cloud minutes comes to the picture. So that's why this is more preferred way for most of the developers out there. Then third thing was installing the necessary softwares. We installed VS Code, we installed Salesforce CLI. We understood what is that, what is Salesforce CLI and all. Then we installed required extensions for the VS Code. We saw like what those all extensions are. And after that, finally, we also created our org. And I, in fact, shared all those links in the chat. So you can also get those orgs and things installed before trying out these things. And then we had a kind of a basic setup. We understood, like we discussed, like, okay, how can you connect your VS Code setup with Salesforce? How what's the role of Salesforce CLI in that, and how in fact you can like authorize your org and work with that. Before that, we also created this SFDX project, the things that you're seeing over here, SFDX project. And until here, we discussed what is SFDX project and what is metadata and how we deal with that stuff. So we discussed everything until here. And today's agenda, so of course, this to start with the recap, and we don't need to introduce Agent Force vibes again. So we just done with the recap. Now next thing is to understand few things. Okay, starting with MCP server. In last call, we were over here and we saw like this one MCP server active. So how it actually works, like entire Agent Force vibes, and then we'll have actual hands-on. So trust me. So yeah, I have used this Agent Force vibes before, but today I have decided to go a very like in a raw way without any preparation. Preparation in sense like we'll go on like on the way, we'll just think about something, we'll give the prompt and we'll see if it is actually doing it. And trust me, I have used it like when I was in Dreamforce, and it will for a moment it will you'll feel like it's a kind of a sci-fi thing. So the thing is a few things are actually very real now, and you'll see that. And here I'll say like today I'm not just the host, I'm not just Abhishek Patil host in front of you. It will be also one more host, and that host is nothing but this agent Cody and this agent for swipes. Because in when it will come to hands on, this guy is the one who will do most of the things. Okay, and we'll just monitor with this guy, will interact with this guy through our prompt, and this guy will do almost everything. So let's get started. First, let's start with MCP server. What is actually MCP server? So we just get one session back when we were discussing about how VS Code, which is located within our system locally, is actually connected to Salesforce, where we are changing the things from VS Code, making that deployment from VS Code, and make the changes are taking place in Salesforce org after deployment. So the bridge between VS Code and Salesforce org was our Salesforce CLI. It was getting all these things and making that deployment. So of course APIs and all are comes to the picture when it happens. So we saw like how we can authorize our org. So what happens is whenever we authorize our org with the Salesforce CLI, it initiates an authentication flow, and that authentication flow will give you a token. You means not you, it will be storing it in your system. And every time you're making any request, whether it's for deployment or retrieval, it will be using that API key to access data from your Salesforce org. So indirectly it's a kind of API. Okay, when we talk about API, there are different types of APIs like REST API, SOAP API, bulk API. We have seen lots of different types of API, right? Tooling API in Salesforce, and all these APIs like followed some kind of protocol like a REST API, REST protocol. It's just like hitting a URL, getting the stuff and all. So similarly, in when we talk about MCP, so it's a model context protocol. So it's a context protocol. Yeah, this is kind of a new term, even for me as well, until a month back. So when we were talking about agents and all, at that time MCP was coming to the picture. That was the first time even I heard this keyword MCP. There is something related as, and by the way, this MCP is not marketing cloud platform. This MCP is again model context protocol, and when we call it as MCP server, it's model context protocol server. What it does, actually what it does, so it's basically so I just, of course, what we do is either we'll go either we'll do a Google search or we'll ask ChatGPT. I did the same. So basically it looks like this MCP server is nothing but it's a software service that will act as a standardized interface, allowing AI application to access and interact with external data sources, tools, and services. So this is a theoretical definition of MCP server. Now let's understand it in an easy language that everyone can understand. So what happens is, so when we talk about ChatGPT, how we or any Gen AI, what we used to do is we used to give it a kind of prompt, and we were getting a result. Just imagine you want to kind of, you just want to work on a PPT, PowerPoint presentation, and you are having a discussion with ChatGPT over the prompts. So max to max right now ChatGPT is or like few months back how it was working was, you are giving a prompt and in return you are getting a response, that in text format. All you have to do is copy that text, paste it in the PPT, and format it on your own, because that AI is not having access to your asset, your laptop, your system. It is not having that access. Also, on the other hand, same with the documents as well. Same with the code as well. So let's say you're writing a code, you're asking for any component, let's say LWC component. So all you're doing is you're asking that AI to write a code for my LWC component, and either ChatGPT or Grok will give you the code, or Gemini will give you the code. You'll copy paste that and then you'll deploy it. But at the time of deployment, you'll get an error. You'll get that, you'll copy that error, you'll paste it over there. You're doing all this stuff. The limitation over here, why, that was interaction between AI and our local system. Now, if we get a little back again, what is our local system? local system is nothing but, in very, very easy language, it's nothing but a file system. So whatever I'm doing over here is, let's say, even if you're talking about this SFDX project, so all these are nothing but files. Okay. So all I need to do is any class, any LWC component, any metadata file. So it's, at the end of the day, it's just a file, whether it's in my system or I'm deploying it to my org. It's just a file. So when we talk about our OS, it's just a file system. We are accessing different files. As of now, I have opened this VS Code. I have launched a specific program by accessing file system again, and I'm utilizing all these things. So what happens is, when we talk about this file system, so how, just imagine, what if there is a kind of a mediator who can access that file system, who can talk to AI agent, and on the instruction of AI agent with the APIs, that mediator can talk with our file system, can execute commands within our system, and get the output and feed it back again to that AI system. So that mediator, earlier it used to be a human, right? So in first example you saw, like, I'm giving a prompt to chat GPT giving it back to me manually copy pasting it and all. What if you yourself has been replaced from that picture, where instead of you there is another mediator, and who is sending that prompts on behalf of you, and again, one gen AI creating those prompt, another agent or server is putting that prompt to other AI, then getting response back to him, back from him, like what needs to be done, and then taking those actions within the file system, and then observing the behavior of file system, any output and all, taking that output again, feeding it back to the AI, and again AI is making decision whether it's successful or not. So that entire mediator is nothing but MCP. Now, let's talk about MCP server in picture, like what happens actually. So over here, I'm going to put anything. Let's say we'll see in our kind of hands-on. Let's say I want to create a LWC component. I'll put, okay, create LWC component for me. So first, of course, it will have to put that prompt into. It has to put that prompt to AI system, and after that, what it needs to do is like get the output from it. Like, okay, it's generating the code for our LWC component. Now the thing is, now you have the code. Now, after getting that code to MCP server, now MCP server, so it's a server. So what AI will again do is it will call those APIs of MCP server to access the local file system. So it will trigger small APIs. So let's say API for file creation. So it will open that file, it will create a new file, then it will put the code inside that file. Okay, it will create a file structure, folder structure. It will be having access to different folders and files within your system. Then also it will be having access to edit the file, update the file, or delete the file if required. And we can customize this permissions from here itself. So you can see, like, as of now, read and edit access are there. So as of now, I have just given read project file. Edit I have not given yet. So what will happen is all the time it will ask me. What happens is, so this is the work of this MCP server. As of now, we have over here one is enough for us, because we will be mostly working with one MCP server. Now, second, what just discuss about the setup that we have over here. So we have authorized our org, Agentforce Vibes. Last time we have authorized this org. We have our terminal open, and we have SFCLI. We have SFCLI installed over here. If I type SF, you can see everything is over here. Now, moving further, now what next we'll be doing? We'll be creating some sort of small applications, and then we will try to build some big applications. When this was launched, Agentforce Vibes was launched in Dreamforce. At that time, we gave with some specific set of instructions that we have to give to this Agentforce Vibes. And then we have been shown, like, see, we have a to-do application created over there. But that org was defined org, and the instructions were defined. So that's where I said, like, we will be going very much raw over here, we'll be starting with simpler instructions, and then we'll go to bit more complicated instructions to this. And when I was saying, like, you'll feel like, you'll get that sci-fi feeling, and you'll feel like, okay, you don't need to code anymore. But reality, you may need to code, because if there will be some dead ends, I have faced by myself, because these things are still in initial phase. It is awesome, no doubt. It is awesome, no doubt. But when it comes to a bit of complexity, it will you'll be hitting a kind of a dead end. So, and for that, that's the reason why you should be having or knowing the basics of Salesforce, because with some sort of that basics, you'll able to overcome that issues that you are facing. Okay, so let's start with some smaller application. So maybe I was just thinking just about in when we were waiting to start the session. I was just thinking like what type of application we should build. You have this chat window open. You can start dropping some ideas of very simple application. And when I say I'll go very much like raw, raw, it's like it's not planned session. So what you can do is you can drop your ideas and we can try out those things. I have one idea for very simple application, and that idea is we can start with a simple counter. Let's say LWC component that start with a zero as a counter, and with one single button that says, let's say, add or increment or just plus icon. And upon clicking that, that counter number should get increased, and there should be another button with the name reset. So maybe we can have this counter LWC component to start with. I will drop that prompt over here in front of you to Vibe, Agentforce Vibes, and we will see. And meanwhile, you put different ideas of small components that we can see. Okay, just directly don't jump to the to do application. So here we need to understand one fact that, see, what I'm trying to do over here is. Um, let's start with very basic application. So the application that I told you just now, it just contain LWC component. There is absolutely no backend, no apex in picture, no object, nothing. But when we talk about to-do application, it comes LWC, it comes up with Apex classes. Of course, it will comes with the objects and fields. It will be having its own data model, and also it will come with the permission set and all. Because once you create custom objects and permission set, it will be coming up with all that. Okay, so that is a kind of a level 3 for this Agentforce Vibes. So that's why let's start with the smaller, lighter task. And we will be going to the advanced level of task. So meanwhile, I'm putting that prompt. Make sure you are putting different ideas of yours into the chat box so that we can try out those ideas as well. So how can we access Agentforce Vibes is on the VS Code left hand side. You can see this icon, Agentforce Vibes. You might not see all of these icons because I have installed different extensions, so that's why it's visible to me. Depending on the different extensions that you have, you will be having different icons. So you have to go with Agentforce Vibes in that. And for if you are opening it for the very first time, you will see like there are no MCP server active, and then you can start MCP server, and from next time onward, it will automatically start that MCP server. Now let's start typing the prompt. So let me put it in plain English. Let's create a simple LWC component named as counter. It should show a big number starting from zero, and it should have two buttons. First is with just plus sign. Let me put that as well. And other with other is reset button. Upon clicking plus button, it should increase the counter by 1. So if we start from 0, upon single press, it should be 1, then 2, and so on. Upon clicking reset, the count should reset to 0 and start counting again from there. So this is a very basic, uh, prompt that I just thought. And there are two buttons: plan and act. So plan is something that will plan. It will plan how to do it. Okay. So let's try by planning it so that it won't create anything immediately. It will just plan it, and we'll able to see okay how it plans. Okay. So once I create this, I'll just send it, and you can see like it's making API request. So you can see checkpoint, compare, restore. So it will be showing plan to implement LWC counter. Let's see what it will be doing. Given your requirement and the repository structure is a concise implementation plan that aligns with LWC best practices again. So it will be creating a single LWC component, HTML, JS, and counter CSS as well, using SLDS friendly approach. Initial count behavior will be initial count 0, clicking plus increments count by 1 each time, and clicking reset count back to 0. Accessibilities button have proper labels and titles. The number is prominent and readable. Now SLDS structure is have, and it's saying like it will be using SLDS card for the container and simple grid layout. And what it says is I'll add these files under force and code with described above. Optionally, I can also add lightning app and record page targets as per your preference. Default with including lightning app page. Now the thing is, it's saying okay, this is my plan, this is my next structure, but it will create LWC component, but where to place it? So let's ask it to create a lightning app page for the same, and create a tab for that, and put it in my standard sales application maybe. Let's try asking it. um, I would like to have a dedicated app page, lightning app page, to put this component on, and also create a tab to access this page, or put this page as navigation item on standard sales application. And let's see what it says. There's one more thing. Below this prompt, you can see there's a pro model. So there are actually two models: pro model and core model. So every org will be having its own limitation. Maybe we will hit that limitation of using pro model today because we'll be doing so many different things. So it's same like ChatGPT free version, and then after usage, it is bringing us down to the core model or free model. So it's the same way. So let's see what it's saying. Updated plan including app page. So it updated the plan. So it will create custom tab to access the page, and then lightning page tab to pointing to the above flexi page, and it will be available. Add the tab to standard sales application navigation. Update the standard sales app to include new tab and all. Okay, sales are often managed by Salesforce. If it is locked, we'll create custom sales. Like okay, it's even giving us the information. So if you see over here, it has access to, as of now it's just doing the plan, but it's having access to mostly Salesforce related information. It's like a LLM just trained for Salesforce based usage. So it has it is aware of that entire context. In fact, we can add the context as well over here wherever required. Now next step is, most of the things are done. Next step is just we have to see, it says like toggle the act mode, and it will start doing the things. Now I'll click on act mode, and the entire magic will start. Let's see. So see, it started doing the things, and in fact, you'll see my VS Code. Yes, exactly like this. It will open the different files, and in fact, in this mode of edit mode, and every time it will ask you, okay, you want to save it. The moment you click save, it will go to the next request. Why it is happening? Because I have not given given that MCP or that agent access to my file to edit my files. Now if I click edit file and edit all files, and if I from next time onwards, it won't ask me again and again to save the files. It will automatically save it. So can you see it now, right? So it automatically saved it. It's moving to the next API, totally hands free. So I'm just I'm feeling like I'm just doing the commentary, and this guy is doing everything. Meanwhile, as this is being getting executed, we'll see like what are the different things. You can see the tasks over here, all the tasks over here, and you can see the timeline, every timeline, what happened at what stage. So this blue things are showing the file creation approval and all. So this is kind of a bar that we can see out of 6 things has been done. And as of now, we are seeing like different API requests which are being made. Now there are two types of requests again. So file creation, file systems and all. Now next thing is deploying the metadata. Now in order to deploy metadata, we have to execute the terminal prompt. So that's why a separate separate approval request it's asking for. So you can see Agentforce wants to use a tool on the Salesforce DX MCP server that is nothing but deploy metadata. Let me also set it for auto approve for now, and let me approve it. Be careful with auto approval. Let's say if you're working on a kind of a repository where you're working with kind of um, your existing code, it may override your code. So that's why it's all the time it's asking. And if you deselect that edit option, every time it edit the file, you can in fact see the differences in the file, and you can save the file accordingly. Now it's asking for different commands. So get username, it's my first deployment, so that's why it's asking me different uh, different commands for approval. So as I have set this for auto approve, it is actually trying to deploy a few things, and you can see success is failed. Some sort of files are have been failed for deployment, and that's where it is getting that error and going back to that specific file, and it will again try to redeploy that specific file. So as you can just see, I'm not doing anything. My hands are in air. It's just going through those files, trying to deploy, get the error out of deployment, and it's doing everything on its own. And we can see whether it's deployed. So again, we can see success is failed again. So until and unless it is getting the correct behavior, it will go on. So that's why I was telling you, like, so it's a simple application, like where we have to create LWC component, we have to create an app page, and have to deploy it, and to make it in a standard sales application. So let's see how it goes. The more and more complications you'll add, it will go round robin again and again, like edit, update, deploy. So these cycles will continue. And trust me, this will get more better day by day by the way it's getting trained. It will avoid kind of common mistake that it's having now, and it's I'll say like it's still better nowadays. Earlier, it was when it was a dev agent, or even before that, there were like lots of like comparatively more back and forth between AI and deployment stuff. So now it's still better. Some happens is it will be like a small change that we need to have, and after that small change, it will be working. So it's, I think, still going on and forth. It's some issues with the kind of things with the application page. But if you see, maybe LWC component might have been deployed by now. What we can do is, let's say if we see like there is lots of back and forth going on, we can cancel this, and we can ask it to just deploy LWC component. The rest of the things I'll handle. For example, things like creating application, creating navigation menu, creating app page. These things are like kind of straightforward. Now, as even though I set the things to auto approval, you can see Agentforce has auto approved 20 API requests already. So in order to avoid that infinite loop glitch where Agentforce is running on its own, there is a kind of they have added a kind of a limit of 20 API requests. So after that, I again need to manually ask it to, yes, proceed, please proceed with the task, and then it will continue that specific task from there onwards. And right now it's again back to fixing those things. So mostly right now it's working on this flexi page. There is some errors it's facing on flexi page. Now there are two models, as I was telling you, the pro model and core model. I have worked with both the models. The difference between pro model and core model is, in pro model you can see it's deploying from this page, and with the APIs it's deploying directly from MCP server. In core model it will shift to your terminal, so it will access your terminal and it will use your command prompt. It will be executing prompts from here and then picking up the errors from there. So that error, I feel like it was more readable. You'll get to know like, okay, what's exactly going wrong. So as this thing is specific thing is in still it's getting updated, so it's trying ground robin, and we can in fact changes and what's exactly doing. If it is not doing it in this iteration, I'll cancel it. I'll ask it to just deploy the LWC component so that we will create rest of the things and we'll see like how the app is. So yes, and this is the thing I was talking about. So you can see like it says like has reached its usage for the pro model, so have been temporarily switched to the core model. So we have been switched to the core model. Now it's saying task has been completed. I've seen like sometimes it says like task completed, but we need to validate. There is one more good thing is you don't need to log into your org. You can just simply say like, okay, you have done this, open my org, and it will simply run another command to simple srorg open. That's a simple command. It will run that command and it will open your org with directly logged in credentials, by the way. So it's saying like Agentforce wants to execute this command. So I can run this, and or else there's one quick way to run, that is nothing but this one. Okay, so here is my Chrome. Oh, sorry. I can simply click on this icon. So bottom left corner, you can see sfdx open default org. So let me bring my Chrome window over here. Okay, for this I need to do like this. You can see my Chrome window has been opened over here. And now let's see if it is having that LWC component. So for that, I do have this Lightning Studio. So this is one of the awesome awesome plugin. Uh, Lightning Web Component. See, I don't see Lightning Web Component, any LWC component that has been deployed. So we can ask it, please deploy, what was the counter LWC component? And it is another command prompt that I have given. So it knows like what needs to be. So deploy changes from my, so you can see status succeeded. It was just a LWC component that, so you can see task has been completed. Now let's see if I can get it once again. Let me leave this for now. And let me open it once again. And you can see counter application has been already over here. Now, what simply we can do is, I'll leave this because I don't need Lightning Studio. I just wanted to show you over there. So let's say I go to Sales app. And let's say I edit this page. And then I'll try to put counter. So I can see counter component over here. I'll just simply drag and drop this component, not over here. Wait a minute. Where can I do that? Well, I think this is a standard page, of course. Let me close this. let's put it on maybe any record page or somewhere. Or else we can create our new page. That will take time. So let me put it on maybe opportunity record page. Let me try to edit this page. Okay, let's try putting it over here. I've added it, save it. Let me activate it so that we can open it, we can use it. Assign all default desktop and phone, next, save, activation successful. And now let's see if it works. Yes, I work, reset, 0. Now, see, that's how. I have not coded for any of this. It's just purely Agentforce Vibes. It created that LWC component. It even deployed that LWC component. So it did everything. Okay. Now let's try something kind of crazy. So let's say now let's ask it. So instead of plus button increase for increment, I want to convert it to the timer that auto increments per second. Replace plus button with pause button, and reset should start from 0. Let's see what happens. So send it now and we'll see how it works. So ideally it should be doing everything on its own. So it started updating all this code over here.
Abhi, you
And
need to zoom in a bit because attendees couldn't be able to see what you're typing and all.
okay, all right. I doubt I'll able to zoom in. I need to change the. Okay, that's. I can't make it plus plus. Last time I tried it. Maybe this will help. 50-50. Okay, so we can see um, our files have been updated and its deployment is also done. It's saying task completed. Now all we need to do is just go back and just refresh the page. Let's see if it is updated as per our expectation. See, it is done. I can pause it. It's paused. I can reset it. Now the thing is, I'm not very much. I didn't like this design very much. So I'll say like, can you make this um, counter design more attractive? I'm just giving raw comments, by the way, raw prompts, and that's why I'm sorry it's not visible. That's why I'm just also giving commentary. Can we make this counter design more attractive? Can we maybe gamify it? Like just again raw comment, a raw prompt. Let's see what it does just to check the behavior. And once we are done with this, then we'll go with a little bit of complicated component. Let's say we can go with a to-do app. We'll see how we can go with it. And we can see like it's updating the CSS. Maybe let's see what it can do. Meanwhile, we'll go with the plan. What it is doing is improving visual design with better color scheme, larger, more prominent display, better spacing and layout, animated effect for better engagement, and adding gamification elements for achievement badges for milestone 10, 60, and 100, visual feedback while when reading milestones, and progress indicators, celebration effects, and all. And it's modifying the files. And as I have set the things to on auto mode, it is going on creating the updating the files, automatically approving it. And in fact, I have automated deployment as well, so it will automatically deploy once everything is done. So as I said, we can just monitor it, how it is doing it. So I think changes have been done, deployment has been initiated. So you can see auto approve and deployment is succeeded. So gamification feature, it's showing like what they have added. 10-second, great start, halfway there, excellent. Let's see how it is looking now. So let me refresh. So we can see it's like a more better than before. We can see the color changing counter, and it is giving the nice gamification effect. After 10 seconds, it gave me that kind of message of great start and all. So if I click reset, it's again going to zero, and I can pause, start again. Okay, so okay, it's pausing or it's not running again after zero. So we can again interact with it and we can start doing different stuff. Now let's talk about, let's, I know like we have 15 minutes remaining. Let's try with some complicated app. So last time I was talking about this to-do application. To-do application, we have to first plan and act because it will be involving some more complicated things. I cannot guarantee whether we will able to complete that to-do app, but at least we'll try to get some sort of UI or backend thing at least. So just imagine, in order to create the component, that the component that I just created, if you see, you can see entire code by the way. So it's like literally 63 lines of JS code, HTML 32 lines, and CSS just like 52 lines. So if I is supposed to be doing that code and all, I need to visit lots of different documentations. I refer SLDS. Then for JS, go through apply some logic, apply logic for pause, play, reset, do that everything, do the HTML part. Then with the help of SLDS, bring that card and do all those things again. It would, even for experienced developer, it would not have taken anything lesser than 30 minutes to bring all these things together. We have done literally in 5 to 10 minutes just by few simple prompts. Now just imagine an application, let's say the one that we are about to do. Simple to do, traditional starter application for any new programmers or people who are learning new system. So to do application, in this case, in the context of Salesforce, it will contain a UI, nothing but LWC component. It requires a backend, nothing but objects and fields. And then as UI is there, objects and fields are there, then automatically like Apex will come to the picture in case to perform those operations of DML operations and all. And also like as custom things and fields are coming to the picture, it means it will also bring custom permission sets to the picture for accessibility and all. So this is the level of complexity. And for any to-do application, even for experienced developer, it will not take lesser than 1 hour or so to set up everything. Because just imagine we have to set up everything. Even though like it's an experience, one is experienced developer, they still have to go through the same process of going to setup, going to object, creating new object, filling up all that details. After creation of object, create all those fields, and first it starts with the plan itself, like what needs to be created. But here all these things are happening in a blink of an eye. Okay, so let's create that new task. So I created so now if you've seen like previous chat that we had over here, so if I go to this thing, this chat is having its own context. I just given the prompt where I told it, can you make counter design more attractive? Did I told it like which component? No. Name of the component? No. Nothing. I told nothing, but it is having its own context over here. Now with this new task, I'll be creating a new context from here itself. So for that to-do application, and that chat will be having its own context. I don't need to specify the things again and again. I just simply have conversation and we'll start doing that thing. So let's make a to-do application. Uh, let's create a to-do app. And again, I'm moving the things to plan mode over here. So we can see plan mode. So let's create a to-do. Let me see if I can zoom in. Oh yeah, I can. Oh, that's better. Okay, let's it's too much, I think. Okay, this should be good. Let's create a to do app that will allow me to create simple tasks and move it to different stages, such as to do, in progress, and done. I also need an UI from where I'll able to see all the tasks in maybe Kanban board form. Okay, that's it. And I should able to store it. I think let's try to give minimal information. If we are in plan phase, we'll able to see what's the plan, and we'll able to see. Um, and I would like to place this LWC component maybe on record page. So let's say we are working with the record and we are creating, that stages or to do application or to do things for that specific record on a record. So we are in plan mode, by the way. So let's see what's the things that we get as a plan. So let's see. So what it's saying is, let me analyze the user request. Okay, user want to create this from the to-do app, Kanban board UI to visualize the task, and LWC component then be placed on a record page. From the environment details, I can see again it's a kind of it has a awareness of environment. There's already counter LWC component in the project. There's a to-do custom object already created with the fields like stage, description, etc. This project is a standard DX project structure. I need to understand what the current to-do object looks like. Okay, so the thing is, just before, so this is the same project that I'm using for different purposes. So um, same SFDX project, uh, um, I created different. I connected different org, and I also tried to do things. That's why it's checking the previous to do object metadata to understand its structure. So it's saying, okay, I'll help, and it's read the object and all. So it's reading all these objects, and it seems it's tried to read all these things. So I have identified that you have already a custom object to do with the following things. Plan overview. I'll create a complete to-do application with the following components: Apex controller, component integration, and then layer is okay. It will planning Apex layer and all. So and it will be creating an LWC component. Let me check if I'm really having those things. Okay, I do have one object. Let me delete that object and let's see, because this specific object is not part of the current org that I have. Get back to this. Let me copy paste the command that I have given so I can just simply see more. Let me copy this and let me create a new task at all. And let's see now if it finds that. So moral of the story, it is having access to, of course we all know that it is having access to our entire file system, and it is okay, what it is asking, a to do app from the there is already a LWC component, the project structure is standard. Okay, I need to understand what kind of task they want to manage. Okay, I've seen this sometimes there are a general task that weren't tied to any specific record. These are okay. Let's as this is a kind of a new thing that I also recently found out. So it can ask you a question back while in plan stage. Let's say if it is having a kind of any question. So over here we are seeing we told it like we have to place this specific component on record page. Now it's asking you want to tie it to any specific record, or you don't want to tie it to any specific record. Now in order to minimize the error, because tying it to specific record will again have that lookup field and all that things. For now, let's keep it as general and let's not tie it to any specific record, and then it will again create that specific plan. And before making any plans, so when I say like it is having access to the file system, it's checking the current SFDX project, and then it is acting accordingly. So let's see what we have over here. So creating custom object for task, yes. Then create LWC Kanban board component, then implement core functionality, then component configuration and testing and validation. So once we move it to the act mode, it will be starting everything. So let's see how it goes. And we can see like it is creating task object. So uh, rather than previously created to do, it's creating task object over here. So earlier, what happened? I'll say like the things, what the things are deleted and all. So in SFDX project, we seen like last time how we can change the org default org that we have set. We can change the default org within the same SFDX project as well. So while testing or trying out these things with my different org, but I was using same SFDX project. That's why it realized or it detected there is already a to-do application in the same SFDX project. It's like you want to utilize the same one or you want to create a new one. So what I did is I just created a new to-do application by discarding old implementation or the old thing that I was trying out, because I wanted to have something very fresh and new over here. So that's why. So right now it's creating LWC component. It just created object. So first, the way how it works is first it creates entire metadata. First it will create entire metadata, whether it has to create HTML, CSS, JS or XML file. So it will create full metadata. Then it will bundle it together and it will initiate the deployment. And deployment will be also automated, and at the time of deployment, if it is getting any errors, then it will monitor those errors. Then it will get back to the file, it will edit that file specifically, and then it will again attempt the deployment. And there will be kind of back and forth for deployments, and it will be trying to repair each and every file. But as we have seen, after certain limits it will stop deploying it, and it will just say like, okay, you can take it further from here, where we can see okay what are the things have been done, and we can take that control. So last time we like stretched it too far. Like we have seen like, okay, it's trying to deploy, again error, again repairing the file, again trying to deploying it. uh, at this place, once we get all the files, we can take control at us. We can anytime we can just cancel this, and we can stop entire process. But of deployment, it is still preparing the files, different files. So if you see like deployment is failing, you can cancel and you can manually check the deployment errors, and if it is a small error or something, you can fix it. Now it's saying like, okay, Agentforce wants to execute this command. So okay, let's run command. Maybe it want to see the access to the file system, or it's not having access, so it's just getting the access. So and let me grant let me do all these things. Yes. So now it's getting a flexi page, it seems, task test page, flexi page. Last time we have seen there was a issue with the flexi page itself. So if it is failing again, what we can simply give the prompt is, don't put that on flexi page, I'll take it from here. You just create LWC component and Apex class and things support to it. It is also creating tab. In fact, we never asked it to create the tab. But if we see the initial plan that have, that was part of testing and testing and validation. So creating all these things. So yeah, let's see. So it says everything is done. Let's see if the deployment is successful. I don't see any deployment has been done, implemented. So let's ask it to deploy it. Okay, open force. Okay, it's asking if I can open this to-do application, but I don't think so. It will work like this. Let me ask it to deploy. Please deploy the project. So that's where your basic admin skills come to the picture. So that's why I added it as a kind of a prerequisite. So now it knows, okay, it has not deployed it yet, so it's calling that deploy metadata. And now it may get different errors. I think, see, this is one of the errors. So you can see oh, success false. Yeah, so now it will go back and it will try to deploy different things. So yeah, again, so object metadata, there was error. Kanban board HTML, there was error. So it's just trying to update the files wherever it is getting errors. I need to update the JavaScript, and you will get entire commentary over here in this same interface. Um, let's say if you're facing lots of issues with the deployment, most of the time I have seen it is really good with LWC component, creating objects and fields, and it is also good with your Apex classes. I've seen it struggling with assigning permission set. So yeah, again, this thing that we discussed, it will be having limits of 20 auto approvals. Once it's done, we have to proceed it manually. So what I was telling you was there will be a kind of it just struggles with the permission set assignments as of now, and it is struggling with layouts and flexi pages, because that is where XML parts comes to the picture, and different XMLs are having different versions and different labels and APIs. So that's where it's a bit struggling. Uh, but at this case, see, now you can see over here flexi page. So it's again asking to it's removing so it's deleting that flexi page file, and maybe it is also removing tab. Let's see what's it doing by removing those files. And it want to get the list of everything. And by the way, you should also see the commands before allowing it to execute. So it's just enlisting the classes and all. We can see over here objects and classes, and it is preparing the package.xml accordingly. And I think now it will ask me to run that command. Okay, so it's deploying it to the package.xml, and success is failed again. So over here we can maintain this package.xml, and this package.xml is going to be really useful for us, because we can, once we take control over this AI, we can try to deploy that file manually, and from there we can see what's the exact error. We can skip that part, and just like how we did with the counter application, we can do with this application as well, where it was struggling with flexi page. Just done that part manually, where we are dragging and dropping that LWC component and taking it further. As of now, I can see like it's still facing issues with this object file. Mostly in second or third iteration, it fixes everything, all the errors that it is having. The reason behind all these errors is, see, it's not going through the standard process of create, like how we go there and create it from screen. It's actually a kind of a Gen AI piece, right? It is generating that text, and while generating that text, it has to go through like it has to consider lots of metadata formats and all, the current format of the org and all, syntaxes. Moreover, it will be struggling in syntaxes. I can see it shows like everything has been done, deployed. Let's see if it is really deployed. I see like it is just edited that file. It has not deployed anything yet. So what we can do is we can just simply go to package.xml over here, and we can ask it to deploy. And there are ways by which we can deploy package.xmls. So I'll go over here, right click, and then I can initiate manual deployment. Okay, so it's set as Apex PMD. So package.xml has to be part of this manifest. So I'll simply copy this package.xml and put in this package.xml. Then I can just right click and deploy source to manifest org, and we'll see what are the errors that we are seeing over here. So we get unexpected plugin compilation error, invalid expiration. Okay, so it's an issue in our JS component. So for that, I can again get back to this and ask it to deploy my Apex class and LWC component again. So we'll be just asking it to deploy that Apex class LWC. Why? Because standalone LWC, if I ask, it has not deployed Apex class yet. And also, again, if you see, like it has to go through first object, then Apex class, and then LWC component, because that's how the chain would. So let's see how it goes. And there are other things as well. Must specify sharing model value for a custom object. So let's see like how it will deploy. So it's creating simple deploy script, and I doubt it will work because it has to deploy object first. All right, it is deploying. So I was talking about this thing when we talk about creating a plan. So the idea is when we go from small components to bigger component, it works seamlessly. We created counter component. It was just single LWC component. So as of now, how you should be approaching Agentforce Vibes is you start with the smaller components. So we seen like what happens when you give it a big input, like creating entire app in one command where it is preparing all these things. How we can start using it like in chunk wise. You can start with create an object model, deploy it. It will deploy it. You can go and validate it. The next thing you can tell, you can give prompt for is write the supporting Apex classes. It will create that Apex class. It will deploy it. And in fact, you can create separate tasks for this. You don't need to create a single big task for this entire execution. You can create small, simple tasks for this. As we have seen, like whatever we have done in previous task is also available in this task. We have seen like at the stage of planning, we have seen like how it says like I can see there is already counter LWC component present in the project. Similarly, it will take your objects which are already part of your project. It will take LWC component which are already Apex classes which are there, and that's how you can divide your entire requirements in small chunk of requirements, and you can start deploying it. So let's give a kind of, we are running over by 7 minutes. Let's give it a final try for this deployment of LWC component and Apex class, and let's see how it works. Okay, it's still hitting LWC template limitation. LWC doesn't allow method calls in templates. Yeah, these are some sort of simple issues that we can see. It is trying to deal with specifically with HTML templates. Um, let's see how we can tackle this down, and we will make our manual deployment. We can see over here there are some for each and all. Meanwhile, let me go to our Apex class. Okay, it says all 5 tasks completed, and it is also updating JS file. Yeah. So while dealing with mainly the coding part of this Agentforce Vibes, so it will give you high level of coding for sure, but there will be kind of steps that you have to troubleshoot on by your own, where you have to. There will be some very simple. So the error that we have seen, that HTML templates cannot be, from that template we cannot execute any method. So that is kind of a very common error. Any developer try to, and in fact, I've seen AI models doing this mistake, trying to execute a JavaScript method from HTML. This happens because it treats LWC component as a LWC HTML as a standard HTML, and it tried to include JavaScript related component in the HTML template itself. That's where this specific error comes to the picture. Now, if you are having that specific background, if you are having that specific background of that LWC component development and all, you'll definitely go over there and you'll try updating those things. So after things, it's giving us some sort of workaround over here. So it's showing us, let me carefully analyze the conversation, create comprehensive summary. Okay, it's creating this specific summary because it's going back and forth. So it's creating summary, what is happening, it's trying to understand. So from that perspective, it is see, it's we have both the access, read access, write access. It's reading all these files, and it will again prepare comprehensive prompt, and it will try to deploy overall package again. So you can see over here, it's again trying to redeploy all those things. And in fact, we can see all these files over here. Okay, it's almost close to done. Meanwhile, let's get back to our Salesforce sandbox. Let's actually see if it is our timer is still on. We'll see 100. Yeah, there was. I think it's for 10 minutes. Let's see. Let's see an object. If it has created any task related object over here. We can see task object has been created. It means it has deployed a few things. It has saved a lot of time, so it has created description, due date, owner ID, priority, and everything. So all right, task object has been created. Now let's also see if LWC component for Kanban board or to do application has been created. So yes, to do Kanban board application has been created. It means these things are deployed already. So let's see what's the current status. Okay, all right. It says everything has been done. So let's see how we can use this functionality. Let's try to drag and drop this Kanban board again over here. So let me duplicate this page. Let me edit the page. And I can do the name of the component was task to do Kanban board. So let's see. To do Kanban board is here. Let me drop it over here and let's save it. It's already activated. So let me get back. Let's refresh. Or let's bring it to the top maybe. It's already on top. So you can see task name, add to task. So this entire UI is over here. So let me test it out. Test task, test description, priority. So yeah, this is as per the plan. Due date maybe 28. Add the task. So here we can assess the application, what's going on, what's not. We can tell it, okay, upon clicking on add to task, it should give me the comprehensive kind of a pop-up where it shows, okay, task has been added, and it should show that task in to-do state. Let me refresh if it has done all those things. No, let me, and you can see the validations are also added. Test task. Let me try to add this. Let's see in network if we can get something. Medium. Okay, it's not adding. So, but if you see, like it has created that sort of UI, everything over here, and it has even created this card structure of to do in progress done exactly like how we planned it, and how you can take it further from here is all you need to do is give it the further commands. So either you can take it in two way. First of all, you can go with your own way where you can go and check what's happening with that specific HTML. So I can go and check with that button what happens when I save that button, like what happens when I submit, make that on click button. So I can see handle create task, and I can check what's happening over here. So if this is a new task, trim return, and it's calling the create task method. So it means code is there, but somehow it's not getting work. So I can simply go back to this Agentforce Vibes, and I can ask it, new task is not getting created, is not getting created upon, what was the name of that button? It was add task button. So I can, upon clicking add task. So that's how you can have the follow up with this Agentforce Vibe. If you have seen again while it is working, let me take you to the application. We created this entire LWC component, all these things, the Apex supporting this, and the object model, entire object model fields and all. It in fact created that permissions, granted that permissions as well to me. We can also, well, that is a very important thing. Let me check with the permission sets as well. What if I'm not having permission to create those tasks, and it is That's why it's not allowing me. So that's where again, dealing with Agentforce Vibe doesn't mean you're giving prompt and you're getting application readily available. At least as of now, it's not like that. Maybe in future it will start working like that. Let me check with the permission set assignments, and or else let me either I can edit any standard permission, so or else I can just simply create a new permission and assign it to myself by giving that access object access to me. So let me quickly create a new permission set. Agent Force Vibes. I'll just give this name for quickly. Object access. The name of our object is tasks. So simply let me search it. Tasks. It's a custom object that we have created. Let me grant, for now, let me grant all the access over here. Edit access, read access, and let me save it. Just for debugging, it's not recommended by the way. And let me assign this permission set to myself. No expiration date. Assignment done. Meanwhile, also check what's happening over here. So, okay, auto approve 20 limits were done. And it was working on different things. Okay, it's working on JS thing, JS part as of now. Meanwhile, we'll see over here if everything work. So it's like when you're working with Agentforce Vibes, it's like two developers working side by side. It will do all the tiring tasks for you, like writing a big code, big chunk of code, troubleshooting, and you can handle simple tasks which are pretty hard for Agentforce Vibes as of now. So let's try creating now. Test task, add task. So it seems like Agentforce is still working. Okay, so this dot show error is not a function. It means Agentforce is doing something on the backend. Let me see if I can see that in a to do now. Not yet. So it's, yeah, the changes are happening from the backend. Let's see the status. Okay. Well, I'll not stretch much of your time. So let's try to I'll try to summarize this session. What we have done. So on this page, we have created two major components. One is this simple timer component that we created purely using Agentforce Vibes without doing anything. We first started with a very simple component of a simple incremental counter. Then we updated that same component by just one prompt, and we asked it to make a kind of a gamification over there and add some intuitive UI. And we have seen like how the counter color is getting changed. We replaced button with a pause and reset. So we saw this one example pretty straightforward where single LWC component. Then we switched to a kind of a more extensive component that involves almost everything, that involves not just like data backend data model, object creation, field creation, then after that Apex classes creation, and also a full LWC component creation. And we also saw like once how it can automatically deploy. In this entire thing, I have not written a single line of code, and also no manual deployment. It deployed everything on its own. And now the troubleshooting, so the things that I'm doing right now, this cycle will go on. There will be a different things I want to make change. Maybe I don't want to keep this to do like this, or I don't want this form over here. I want a simple plus button over here in to do itself. Upon clicking that, it should open a pop up that is containing this form, and upon filling up this form, then the card should be added in the to do itself over here. Then I can have like next expectation, I should be having that drag and drop functionality, so that I can just simply drag a card from to do to in progress to move that to in progress. So this cycle of that component development will go on. Okay, this cycle will go on, and that's how this back and forth with Agentforce will go on. And you can build your amazing awesome components just with the help of UI. I can see like this has been completed. Let me quickly check whether it's really completed or not, or else we can have another round of troubleshooting. Now, just imagine all these things. It would have easily created 2 hours for me to create, but in the 2 hours we have already so in just one hour we have done work that can be done, or that would have taken like maybe 2 to 3 hours for me or any developer to do. Let's click on add task. It shows okay. So there is a kind of issue in maybe Apex class. Now we can see at least error failed to create task, attempt to dereference a null object. Now we can copy paste this error. We can give it to Agentforce and we can tell it, okay, boss, this is the error I'm getting on the screen. Please update it. And then it will be getting exact error. Previously, we're not aware of this error. Okay, what's happening? I can simply give this error to Agentforce and I can make it to update it, and the code will be updated, deployed again, and we can make these things work. And as we discussed, we can have this, we can change the design of it, we can change the branding, color with simple prompts. We don't need to do anything. And the main thing, there are some key points where we don't need to give it the context of the component, so it knows the entire org, it knows all the objects in the org, all the fields, layout. It has it is aware of almost all the context, and in fact in chat as well. You don't need to again mention this component, this file. No need of that. You just copy paste this error and ask it, I'm facing this error. It will fix the component for you. All you need to do is get back on this page, refresh. These were just simple two different components. I will encourage you to try with lots of different ideas using it. So this was the component. So this was the kind of, these are example that extensively utilizes coding part, LWC and Apex part. You can in fact try with simple projects that involve just object related things, okay, where you want to have just simple objects interrelation with them, record pages dealing with that, and having a setup of basic data model for your application. Let's say you're working with any type of application. There are some starter applications such as blood bank donation management and all that we used to do at very start, right? You can start with those applications to Agentforce Vibes, and then slowly you'll understand like how you can better utilize this Agentforce Vibes in your daily development lifecycle. And in DevOps, it's free to use. You can start using it on sandboxes. We still need to check, but definitely you can build awesome application using this Agentforce Vibes. Uh, as I can see, like Funny is posting on chat window. Like we can, you can give the comments on the session. Please also do mention what application you have built using Agentforce Vibes. Using this social media, you can put your applications that you have built. It will hardly take less than 1 hour for you to do entire thing. If you have done already first session, if you have already attended first session where we have created basic setup, after that it will hardly take maybe 20-25 minutes max for you to build a simple basic application using Agentforce Vibes. And you can take it to the extent, you can extend it to an complicated application, but remember to chunk that implementation in small different tasks. And at the end of all the tasks, you will see screen something like this, where you can see your component in action. So for now, just little bit of patience while dealing with Agentforce Vibes, and of course with the upcoming updates, it will get more and more better for sure. So for now and for today, I'd like to, with this summary, I'd like to conclude this session. We started with setting up environment, and we are ending with creation of a different LWC component involving also backend data model, Apex, LWC, everything we have seen. So yeah, that's it from my end. And with this, I'd like to hand it over to Funny for further questions, if any.
Hey, thanks, Abhi. It was really good. It's really promising for a lot of things. I have a lot of ideas to be, come up with. But again, this is a wonderful session. To be frank, I never heard about such kind of things on the vibes, but this gives and open a lot of vibes to all our developers, and probably that was going to be a game changer from our side, especially to do a lot of things as well. I think I would really appreciate everyone to join this call, and then thank you so much, Abhi, for your extended knowledge on this community. Thank you again.